Hi everyone, good evening. First off, I just want to say Happy International CRPS Awareness Day. It's a really special day for anybody who is a CRPS sufferer or knows anyone who is a CRPS sufferer. This day was initiated 5 years ago, and it's been a great privilege to have an awareness day made for us, because the condition is becoming more understood and more spoken about, and I really do appreciate that. I think it's fantastic, but I'm also here tonight to say that I don't feel like it's enough yet. I'd like you to picture a big bucket of water with lots and lots of ice in it, and what I'd like you to do is imagine what it feels like if you take your hand and you put it in that bucket of ice. And in the beginning it feels a bit cold, right? And then it starts to get a little bit uncomfortable. But have you ever had to hold on to something really cold for more than a minute? Have you ever had that feeling of absolute numbness, stinging, burning, throbbing, sharp pain? And if you can start to imagine that, you can start to imagine what each one of us goes through. The difference is you can take your hand out the bucket of ice. We can't leave our bodies. And the other thing that's worth knowing is, while it is called a regional pain syndrome, it does often start in one area. Left undiagnosed, which it often is because it's so rare, it spreads. My chronic pain, my complex regional pain syndrome started in my right knee. It took 2 years to diagnose it. And by that point, not only had it affected the entire bottom half of my body, but it had left me paralyzed. So I was now in a percentage of people who are diagnosed with this condition who got told that it would never go away. Remission is possible after not being diagnosed for more than 2 years, but you're going to have to work really hard at it. If you get diagnosed within a year, your chances of remission or even a recovery are much higher. Now I want you to think about the worst pain you've ever had and how much you were able to accomplish in that time. Can you work? Can you send an email? Can you study? What can you do? And now I want you to think about the fact that CRPS is classified as a 45 out of 50 on the McGill pain scale, which means that it is more painful than having your limb amputated. It is more painful than terminal cancer. It's really as bad as you can get. CRPS may not be a mental health issue, but when you're in that much pain, it's been proven that anxiety, depression, anger, frustration are going to come with us, because you have no control over your own body. And worst of all, when you get to that doctor, the solution is not, here, we've got something that will take away your pain. It's, we're going to work on pain management. Here's a bunch of things we can try. Let's see what works for you. Even morphine as a solution is not actually enough. It doesn't take the pain away. I took morphine every day for 3 years. It helped, it helped me just kind of mellow out a bit, but my pain was not gone. We get diagnosed, and our option is pain management. And that's okay for now. Doctors are working, researchers are doing their best to keep motivating and research to be done in this field and understanding chronic pain better and how it affects so many, many people. People who, after a certain point, want to actually end their lives. And we are sitting with about 70-75% suicide rate last time I checked. Yeah, I'll double check that and get back to you. But yeah, 75% last time I checked. So when we get told that our solution is pain management, we want to know we have support there. But more often than not, the financial burden becomes our own. Because it's not very well understood, there are not many countries that actually support chronic pain under a medical insurance scheme. I know people who have started out with CRPS in an arm, who have then had it spread, who did not have a good financial support structure, who had to sell their house to pay for treatment. I know people who have had irreparable mental and emotional damage done from feeling alone, unheard, crazy, because they've got such an unbearable pain and no one can understand. This is a condition that has changed my life, and it's not the only condition I have. I also suffer from fibromyalgia, preliminary lupus, Raynaud's phenomenon. I have preliminary cervical cancer. I have a lot of problems. But CRPS has caused me the most pain. Because unlike all those other things, this doesn't have a voice yet. This isn't understood. And I get it. It's a complicated condition to understand. The basis of it is that you have nerve damage, either from an actual accident or from something that just made your nerves, change their function. And that nerve damage then means that your nerves are sending the wrong message to your brain, basically. And your brain thinks that you're in an emergency situation where your body's being harmed. And so in response, your brain sends continuous pain to your body without stopping. Ever. I've gone months without sleeping. I've gone months without eating. I've gone months where I've just cried because this is not something people who haven't had some form of trauma or pain can start to understand. And I don't expect people to understand. But what I want to do is I want to try and bring a bit of awareness to this. And I'd like people to start trying to put themselves in our shoes. Not because I ever want them to feel the pain that we felt, but because I want them to become advocates on our side to say things must change. If pain management is the option we're given, then we need to be supported financially, emotionally, physically. We need to be supported. If you are recently diagnosed with CRPS and you are scared, and you don't know where to turn. There are people out there who can help you. I have been doing this for 10 years now and have made it pretty far in my own right. I'm not paralyzed anymore. I defied what the doctors said. I showed them what real pain management really is. And I know some pretty strong warriors who've done the same thing too. This condition will change you, but it won't break you. It will make you stronger. But what you need is a community and a safe place to speak. Because your voice needs to be heard. Your frustrations need to be understood. And we can do that. We can do that together. And we can find solutions together. We cannot do it alone. I did it alone for a lot of the time. And that did actually bring me very close to breaking many times. To the point where you're lying in a bed, begging for mercy, and wanting to know what would be the easiest way to end it right then and there. And the thing is, you get over it, and you're stronger the next time for it. And you will get stronger. You will get better. You will have more support. Because 5 years ago, there was an awareness day made for us. And the amount of treatments have been growing. The amount of recognition is growing. The amount of support is developing. But I'm here to say it's still not enough. And if I can fight CRPS, if anyone can fight CRPS, then we sure as hell can fight to be better understood and cared for going forward. I hope you guys are able to share the message that I've put out tonight. And I'm thinking of each one of you, individual strong souls who are putting up the biggest battle of your lives. I understand. And I am here. So never ever be shy to give me a shout. Thanks guys. Good night and be strong.